Diversity, compassion, honesty, advocacy. Hi, my name's Megan and I am a 4th grade teacher. I went into curriculum and design just so that I could learn to be an improved teacher. This assignment was probably trickiest for me out of all of them because you asked me to pick a couple to describe who I am disposition-wise. And honestly, I'm a teacher, we're a little extra. I think I'm a little bit of everything. So I really honed in, I actually highlighted the characteristics under each one. And I had to really think about like, what am I the most? And what one could I improve the most? Because we all know teachers are perfectionists and we can all stand to improve in any and all area. That's why we're here, right? So my top 3. If you asked my class from the last 2 years, because I looped them, what word would they describe me as? What disposition is I? I think every single one of them would say compassion is me. I greet my students at the door every day. I have taken the time. My most prideful thing, I guess, is getting to know people for the individuals that they are. If you can connect with a kid, then they want to learn from you. That's my compassion right there. Like, I greet them at the door. How was your soccer game last night? Did you win? Did you lose? How did it go? They get so excited to tell you. I have a student who horseback rides. He comes in every day to tell me about his lesson because he knows I want to know about it. That's like what makes teaching so fun, is getting to know who they are and then incorporating that into my lessons so that they're engaged. I would also say that I'm probably the most honest person there is. I mean what I say what I mean. My students always know what to expect. And then I'm going to work with them to be better when they don't meet expectations. We work together on everything. It's a collaborative effort. I'm always transparent in the decisions I make and how I grade. My kids always know exactly what's expected. I also share a lot about my personal life because I also think diversity is a strength for me, and I think it's really cool to get to know how we're different. And that's day one for me. Like, we don't disrespect each other. We always come from a place of love and care. We're a team. I was a gymnast. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so my students know, like, I have something going on in my life that makes things a little bit harder. A lot of my students did as well this year. Like, one of my students had MD. Field day was a challenge, but you know what? We pulled through as a team. We were open and honest about the things we were nervous about and scared about. That's, again, where kind of my compassion comes through, and the creativity there. But with the honesty, it's like, hey, we have a student in our class who can't use his legs. How are we going to do a 3-legged race? And we did. And I'm going to tell you, we came in second because we were super creative. We were upfront with each other. We worked through the things that we were struggling with. Just knowing where kids are coming from, that's like who I am. That's what I built my whole career on. When I leave at the end of the day, at the end of the year, I want my students to want to come to school. That's what matters. I think another disposition I would choose for myself is advocacy. That kind of goes with compassion. I feel like there's a lot of carryover there. Building positive relationships with my students, engaging them in conversations beyond the scope of the classroom, big deals to me. Problem solving, individually, together, collaboration, seeking to understand issues and challenges facing my students. A lot of my students are in economic hardship, and a lot of them have experienced trauma. So I learned a lot this year about like trauma-based education and how to engage students who have been through trauma, who do get triggered easily by certain things, and knowing that they come from like a lower economic setting, just, incorporating that into my lesson planning. I'm not gonna not be thinking about that all the time. I'm the teacher that if like a kid is struggling to learn, I think like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What are they missing in the bottom of their triangle that they need to get to that middle part of like actually learning? So maybe I have snacks in my room and I know a kid's hungry, comes to school. We do have free breakfast and lunch at my school, but just having that snack, he learned that day, he ate, and he was ready to learn, just things like that. And I think that goes along with the 3 traits I just described. Again, a lot of carryover with those ones. And while I do feel every single one of those dispositions is important, reflection is something that I really love. I like to hear feedback. Actually am a weird teacher. I like to be observed because I want to know what I can do better. I do think, though, I could reflect a little bit more daily. So that's an area that I'm working on a little bit as I'm teaching. Just like I want to constantly be thinking about it, like in the moment, like So what is a professional educator? Like to me, it's a combination of knowledge, of skill, integrity, dedication to student learning. I think our appearance and our attitude should reflect professionalism and commitment to ethics and to our students. I think we model respect, we model cleanliness and professionalism, we're prepared. We maintain a calm demeanor when everything could be going wrong, remaining calm and just taking that deep breath when we need it. Modeling for our students what things should look like. I know one of the things that I did this year is when students would disagree and one would be mean to another, I would tell them, challenge yourself to be nice back, because that's your superpower. If someone says you look horrible today and you say, I'm sorry you feel that way, you look pretty awesome though, it's really hard for that person to be mean. So just like constantly modeling that. Like if someone was disrespectful to me as a teacher, a student said like, Miss L, this lesson is so boring. Why are you teaching us this? I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you feel this way. Why do you feel this way? What can I do to make you like math, to make you like social studies? That's our constant strive for perfection. We all have it. It's within us. We just have to bring it out in our kids. So I think that that's what a teacher looks like.